Just about a half mile east of the Pacific, we're at Del Mar here in Southern California for a good Sunday afternoon of racing as we wrap up the racing week and look forward to the Pacific Classic next Saturday here at Del Mar. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kurt Hoover, joined by my friend Ryan Anderson. And Ryan, good 10-race program today. We got a challenging pick six. We got a $100,000 stake with some very fast fillies and mares and some good grass racing as usual.
Yeah, great 10-race program today, highlighted by the Grade 3 Rancho Bernardo. And I think your feature race is maybe a couple races after.
Yeah. My feature race is today's 8th race. I am fortunate enough to own a piece of Big Juanito. We finally got into a race to run here at the meet, so I am hoping for the best in today's 8th race. I might even take this paddock off, Ryan, so if I'm not here, don't worry. I'm just down watching my horse and seeing my fellow owners. All right, let's try and make some money, Ryan. What about the first race here for maidens?
Yeah, the first race, I'm not getting super creative. It was announced jockey switch to Umberto Rispoli on the number 4 Bull Shoals. This horse has been facing open maidens in Saratoga, in New York, in Keeneland, and down at South Florida at Gulfstream Park. Hasn't gotten the maiden broken yet, of course, but finished second to some nicer horses in Iron Palace, Silent Impact, and Sheriff Bart, who's a good Mott horse that was running down in Florida for the winter time there. She's 1-9. I'm not going to try and get too creative here, or he's 1-9, I should say. 4-1 for me in the first, but just going to single the 4 and move on.
He should be 1-9.
Yeah.
He's what I call a fake California bred.
Exactly.
He's bred in Kentucky, but he's by Mo Forza. I watched his last race at Saratoga. At the 8th point, it looks like he's going to get beat 2 lengths. He surged again at the wire. 2 next out winners. He's a complete and absolute standout. I don't see how he can lose. Let's move on to race number 2. A little more competitive race here.
A little more competitive here. I went with the number 5, Chasing Cat. First time in the barn for George Papavidromo. 3 for 3 in the exacta here at Del Mar. So you know this one likes the track. She's a good 5-year-old mare. She's been consistent. She's been running at this level or in and around this level for quite some time. You get the bug rider and you get a free 7 pounds there. Feels like an intentional sort of bring bat spot here. I know it's off a bit of avoided claim from last September, and then you have the long layoff, obviously not seen until today. But I do think Chasing Cat deserves a look on top. Should be forward with that natural kind of early speed. And then I got to go to the well one more time on the number 7, Yasmina. Picked this one on top last time. Does go into the barn of Victor Garcia now first off the claim. That was open 16 claimers. This is restricted 16, so it is an easier spot. 5-7 for me. I'll give Yasmina one more chance.
I'm the same selection here. I went to the 5, Chasing Cat. The rider gets on horses for George in the morning. That's why she's got the mount. And honestly, Ryan, if you're going to ride a 7-pound bug, this is the kind I want to ride a 7-pound bug on. There's no decisions to be made. You go. You hope she keeps going 5.5 furlongs, and you hope for the best. So I'm going to put her on top. I like the way Pretty Ceci won for King Juan Garcia and his son Victor. And Jasmina, the other one, Victor Garcia, I thought would run well too. 5-4 for me in race number 2. On to the 3rd. California-bred maidens go postward in here.
They do, and I thought the number 1, Angel's Ember, was interesting because you get J.J. Hernandez aboard and Tony Garcia, who's had a white-hot meet at Del Mar so far. The rail is tough for these 2-year-old first-time starters, though, so I couldn't pick this one better than second. I thought the number 5, Little King, showed a lot of promise on debut for Georgie P., who does not win first time out. He's much better when his horses have a start. This one lost to Phone Booth, who's the full brother to Pavlovian, who ran second in the Best Pal last weekend. 5-1 for me. I thought 6-1 on Little King was more than fair.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good gambling race. I picked the 1, Angel's Ember. We talked about the barn, just absolutely on fire. Got the stakes win yesterday for Antonio Garcia. And I make this point all the time. When you're a small barn, you get one of the leading riders, you better be live because you will not get that rider next time if you're not live. Juan Hernandez rides. The Dams had 2 winners, both cheap winners, but winners nonetheless. Repo ran well enough, should get a good trip. Is That You Wing, I thought, ran okay in the debut too. So I don't love a horse in here, but for selection purposes, 1-7 in race number 3. On to race number 4 at 5 furlongs on the turf. Some hard knockers in here.
Some hard knockers in here. Seen by me, the number 5, who I have in the mix, is, in my opinion, the most consistent, given only 4 previous starts to kind of get back to. Always runs the same sort of race. Not sure where we're going to see in terms of a peak performance. So for that reason, I went to the number 3, Disco Tribute, who came back off that long layoff in February at Los Al of this year. It feels like, he needed that run. The 2 races since have been on the grass up at Santa Anita. Both of those I felt were progressive moves, and I'm hoping can fire in here fresh. He has 2 races to get back to. I know it was back in 2024 over this track, but they would bury, I think, the rest of this field. So 3-5 for me, 1, 3, 5, and 8 for Turf Pick 3 purposes that start here.
Yeah, I like the same horse on top. Disco Tribute for Craig DeLossie. Craig's had a good year. He runs a lot at night at Los Al and then places horses well here at Del Mar. The horses won over this course, should get a nice trip. So Disco Tribute on top for me. I thought the 8 Hacking It Up would run well. Shortening up, dropping in class, outside post with Fresu. I think can stay close enough and should get a nice stalking kind of trip. So 3-8 for me in race number 4. Okay, the pick 6 starts with the 5th. An important race. It's a stake, obviously. The Rancho Bernardo Grade 3 event, $100,000 purse. Scratch the 6 Sweet Gal of Mine. To me, Ryan, this is a definition of a match race. It's either or, to me, Thermal and Sweet Azteca, and I think that's a pretty close call, at least the way I look at the race.
It is a close call. I do think Sweet Azteca is a bit classier. I have issues trusting Thermal with the one recent race off Lasix where I struggled to find a kind of excuse why she folded as much as she did. That being said, she does have 3 of her last 4 races that make her ultra competitive in this spot. Sweet Azteca, Baltus scratches the horse right to the outside, probably the insurance policy.
Yeah.
Sweet Azteca here. She ran and won the Great Lady M as she typically does year over year. She should be fine in this spot. I like her. I'm just going to single her and move on. I love watching this mare run.
Yeah, it's an interesting race. I'm going to double with the two of them. Thermal's race at Lone Star, when I saw the running line, I said, how could she not be favored in a stake at Lone Star? So look up the chart. The favorite was a 13-time winner who came in from New York, a graded stakes winner, and Thermal blew her off the course. There's been a next out winner of the race already. I mean, the horse came back and won a stake. It was at Fair Meadows in Tulsa, but the horse did win a stake out of that race. Thermal is very fast. So is Sweet Azteca. I wasn't blown away by Sweet Azteca's win in the Great Lady M at Los Al. I know the story was she was maybe a work short, but she had trained the same way last year, and she was much more impressive. She also worked to get off the vets list since then, but that's kind of been her M.O. She's got her issues. Everyone knows that. That's part of her game. I think it's either or. Ryan, usually I'd say maybe they'll hook up and run each other on the ground, but the problem is the other 3 aren't fast enough. Even if they do that, they're not fast enough to go by these 2 Phillies, I don't think.
Exactly my thought. It has to be, pick one or the other.
Yeah.
So for me, it was Sweet Azteca. If the post positions were switched, I might have taken Thermal just because of the better odds of getting that clean trip.
Yeah. 6th race kicks off the pick 5, Scratch 1 and Scratch 13. Maiden claimers travel a mile and 1/16.
They do. It's a tough one in here down at the bottom, but I thought the number 11, Rapid Ascent, he's faced much better in the last 2, has some speed. The 2 races to start the career, I felt like win versus this group, and this, again, hottest barn on the grounds right now in Antonio Garcia. You get an aggressive rider in a Misael Jaramillo that's certainly going to use that natural speed and get that forward position. I also thought Bob Hess's horse with Armando Ayuso, the number 7, why not another one, deserved a look here. Dropping down to the bottom, I didn't see a whole lot wrong with that last race when facing maiden 20s. Should certainly be at least second best, and I could see this one getting the job done if the 11 can't see the trip.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is the first of 2 Bob Hess winners today. I like the 7 horse. I thought the horse ran well last time. There's been 2 horses who've come back to win. The 3rd place finisher came back 2 starts later to win. The horse who ran last went up to Emerald Downs and won a maiden 5 claimer, so at least it's been a fairly live race. I like the steady work tab. Ayuso rides back, so the 7 on top for me. For a price, I thought the 2, Who's Sick Falls, might run well. An equipment change with the blinkers off. First time going long, and according to Andy Harrington and the National Turf Works, one of the best clockers in the business, has worked really well down here out of the race. So I'm going to go 7-2 in race number 6. On to the 7th. We're back onto the turf going long.
Back on the grass, and the number 1, Goodies, is the horse I think I love most today. I really liked the way that she stretched out last time when she faced Older for the first time and going 2 turns. She really settled nicely during the running of that race. She finished off super strong. And I know the works came on dirt after that, but she's worked so well out of that race. It seems like she's really kind of taken a step forward. She's certainly going to be my single in the Turf Pick 3. Any late horizontals that I play, I felt like Goodies really had the light bulb angle turn on, and you get the cozy inside draw. She's going to set a very similar trip. And there wasn't a whole lot else I trusted in here. I did think the horse just to the outside, Me So Fancy, I'm willing to excuse that last performance. Did take up a little bit in that, kind of dicey DQ that took place with Lady in Paris, but I felt like she also, when you look at that race 2 back and all of her previous races, she does her best when she's outside of horses. She doesn't really want to split that gap between. She doesn't want to be inside of other horses. So I'm hoping that Armando Ayuso works out a trip on Me So Fancy, gets this one to the outside. 1-2 for me, but I'm going to lean pretty heavy on Goodies.
Yeah, I thought for pick 6 purposes from my handicapping race, it was a 2-horse race, top and bottom. I love the way Midnight Horizon finished last time. She was well bet in her American debut, and she didn't run. Then she got away to big price last time. If you watch the replay, she exploded in the last 1/8 of a mile. She was about 5 lengths in front into the clubhouse turn. I love the switch to Rispoli. She galloped out nice. if she can stay close enough, that is a bit of a concern because Goodies is going to get the right trip, and she did win nicely. So for me, it's either or. Double a race for the pick six, 7-1 in race number 7. All right, now we get to the big race today. We've been putting this one towards the end of the card. The 8th race, $8,000 claimers. I own a piece of Big Juanito, the 2-horse. I can tell you he worked really well on Sunday. He actually somehow ended up in company with Sweet Azteca, which is a 1 in a zillion chance. Obviously, she outworked him, but it was one of his better works. So we're hoping his issues are behind him. Abel Lezcano rides back, and Ryan, I'm very optimistic because he likes this surface. His best races have been here. We were trying to get him to this race. We finally did it. Enough about me. I'm picking him, and I'm pushing all the chips in today. What about you, Ryan?
I like him today as well. I did pick him on top with not much bias there.
Yeah.
His best race to his dirt career has come over this track.
Yeah.
It was a really nice one last summer. For me, I also wanted to use the number 9, Leia's Candy, just because this one does look like going to be the lone speed up top. You get Edwin Maldonado. This one is fresh.
I respect Andrew Harris a lot, too.
100%. And this one competes around this level.
Yeah.
That run at Claim $5,000 blew the doors off that company. The race before that finished second versus this level. And then a decent third last time when losing to Mighty Kai and Hard to Figure in early June.
Those are hard-knocking horses.
Those are hard-knocking horses
Yeah.
that would probably both be favored in this spot. So 2-9 for me, but certainly rooting for you.
I picked a 2-9 also. One more note about Andrew Harris, because you look at the word tab, looks a little sparse. That's how he trains. Every horse he ever runs have got those slow works. They've got gaps. It doesn't matter. He gets the horses fit. He worked for the late Julio Canani for many years. I learned a lot of horsemanship there. I respect his barn, and I thought the horse to beat, but I hope I can beat Andrew. 2-9 in race number 8 for me. All right, on to the 9th. We kick off the $5 late double back onto the turf course here.
Back onto the turf, and Nasty Habit seemed to really like the turf last time out. Beat next out winners Code Duello and Smart Code. Both came back to win and improve their buyer speed figures. So I like to see that. And this one came back right off of that win to work on the Del Mar turf course and worked lights out. That was the best of his 3 subsequent works since that race. Drew really well again with Hector Barrios going to be in the irons. Got to take Nasty Habit right back to repeat. And then the number 8, Getting By, has as much turf breeding as you and me in a horse suit.
Zero.
To admit, has absolutely none. But I feel like this horse could be the speed of the speed if that translates. You
Barn
also
going
get
good,
JJ.
too.
Yeah, Barn's going good. You get the leading rider. So all those signs kind of point to I got to take a little bit of a stab because I do think if Getting By can make the front end, she could run the rest off their feet in here, or he could run the rest off their feet in here. So 1-8 for me in the 9th race.
Yeah, my original pick was Del Mar Jerry. He's entered back. I don't know. I forgot if it's Thursday or Friday, but he's entered back this coming week. That's why he's scratched. I ended up with Nasty Habit. 2 next out winners out of that race. Should get a nice tracking kind of trip from the inside with Barrios. Also thought the 10 Sirach, another few jumps he would have won last time. He's a hard-knocking, consistent horse who fires every time. Double Jab. I thought shortening up had a little bit of a look if he gets the right trip. And I'm with you on the Sean Williams horse, Arkansas bred with a goose egg for turf pedigree, but is a 6-time winner. Yeah. So it's an intriguing race for the 9th, the first half of the double. All right, we get to the 10th, Ryan, and I hated to see this scratch because I really thought that 13 was a slam dunk. I thought the horse would be in front and never look back. The point is moot. So how do we come back with plan B here?
I thought the same, but you and I should know better. It's a bad meet for also eligibles. So
yeah, right?
I ended up with the 2 first-time starters in here because the horses with experience I don't love really at all outside of the 13 that, of course, didn't get in. I did feel like List My Biz, this filly by Listing, who's 4 for 8 with her two-year-old first-time starters and his first crop. The Dam as well is 1-2 with debut runners, or 1-4-2 with debut runners, I should say. The Dam ran one of her better races on debut and finishing second. Showed some speed. I'm hoping there's a little bit of precocity in there. On top of that, you get Antonio Garcia, who's, again, white-hot barn here. I hope he has a really good day today. And Escobedo is going to be aboard. He can be forward with a horse. He can use that natural ability that I think she has. And then I kind of just opted into the 9 Stylishly Big for top connections in JJ and John Sadler. Not a big, not a lot of confidence in the last race here, so I went with the 8-9.
I'm with you. I said I was going to single the bottom. I think there's 4 or 5 horses that could win. Ended up picking, remember, April. I think she'll fire off the Leia for Yachtin. This is for one of his big owners who also bred this horse. Got a nice, steady work tab. Not going to be in front, but going to be up close. There's such a lack of speed in this race. I think Melba Montgomery's going to make the lead because she ran pretty well at Los Altubac. She got beat by a runaway winner, but she dusted the rest of the field. Most important for me, Ryan, she's going to be fit. She's getting fitness out of the mile race. It's only 5.5. She's drawn next to a bunch of slow horses. So I think she's going to make the lead. Then you're on your own turning for home. Remember, April will be running on. You mentioned the firsters. If they can run it all, they'll be dangerous. But it bothers me that they're debuting in August for Calbred 12.5. It's kind of telling you there's not much there. But again, it isn't going to take much to win this last race.
I completely agree. It's not going to take much, so hopefully whoever we used, they get the job done.
Ryan, enjoyed the visit as always. Enjoy your days off, and we'll see you back here on Thursday.
Yes, you will.
Thanks for everybody watching. We got the Rancho Bernardo today as the feature, and pick 6, 5 through 10, and nice, cool temperatures as the breeze blows in here at Del Mar. Talk to you in about 20 minutes.